What's up, everyone? Hope you're doing really well. It has been way too long. I have been way too busy, and I'm really excited to get back on this saddle and get back in front of you and others and just be able to engage more with this community. So tomorrow morning, I am flying to Anchorage, Alaska to meet up with a really good buddy of mine, Richard Bloomer. His channel will be linked right up here. He's one of my favorite people to shoot content with. We think a lot alike when we're on set. We're also just good friends in general, but we just get each other. We work really well together. We've done some other projects in Lebanon. We've done some CrossFit stuff together. And now we're going to be doing a project up in Alaska together. And it is going to be epic and fun. And the stories we're gonna get to tell are going to be really, really meaningful. So, having never been to Alaska, but having shot in scenarios similar to what we'll be doing in Alaska, I thought I would share with you how I'm planning on packing for this trip, what gear I'm taking, what I'm packing my gear in, and sharing all of that with you. So first things first, let's talk about the bag and the case that I'm gonna be packing all of my camera gear in for this trip, for the flight, but then also just to handle all of the things that we'll be doing on the ground there. So the first thing is this Polar Pro bag, the Boreal Polar Pro backpack. It is technically not mine. I borrowed it from a really good buddy of mine in town, Ryan Tibbetts. He's a fellow videographer here in town, very talented. And I told him what I was doing and he let me borrow this bag, and I'm very grateful. So excited to test this out. Didn't think my small bag would have made it on this venture. So it is really big, really spacious. I love the back of it, especially because I'm gonna be able to fit every single one of my camera bodies in here, including the FX6. Right now, I just have big V-mount battery charger in here, got some cables. I have the FX3 in here at the moment. I'm also gonna put the FX30 in here, put the FX6 right here in this side, and then probably all of the attachments that go with it I will fit in this top container, or I will put their attachments in here, put the FX30 up here in case I want to shoot anything while I'm traveling / flying or anything like that. Really excited about this because, as you can see, it's just humongous. It's super deep, probably like at least 6 inches deep. That's why I can fit that cinema body in here. I've never used a backpack this big. I'm a little concerned that possibly they'll say something at the airlines, but I don't think they will. Since I'm a bigger guy, I can maybe kind of hide how big this backpack is. And if you look at it, like, I was even thinking that possibly I could fit all my gear in this and my other case and possibly clothes, but actually I won't be able to do that. So on this back flap, you also can see there's compartments. I'll have some batteries in here. There's a lot of support in the back when it's all zipped up. On the front, there is room for your laptop, which I'll be taking my MacBook Pro, keeping that up here on this side. And then on the front too, I'm gonna be taking a iPad Pro as well. For a while now, I haven't been that really happy with the backpack that I have. It does the job, and it's small and compact, but sometimes I just wish I could fit a little bit more in it. So I'm really excited to test one out like this. I know that while we're there, Richard will be sporting I don't know what brand it is, but it's the Peter McKinnon backpack. And he had it when we were in Lebanon together, and the amount of gear that he fit into that backpack was unreal. I was just shocked by how much was in there. So I'm really excited to test this out, fill it up as much as he did, and kind of get his 2 cents on it, but also see his backpack again in action, because at some point I would like to upgrade to possibly a bigger backpack than the one that I typically take on trips like this. So backpack that I'm going to be carrying onto the airplane is this one. Now to my case. On every single trip that I am on an airplane, I always carry on a backpack, and I always take on as well a Pelican hard rolling case that's built for going on an airplane. And this is the one that I have, the Pelican 1510 case. It is made for basically going on airplanes. Typically the way that I have this rigged out is I usually normally have the FX6 in this bigger space right here with attachments here like screen, little screen, and then also the side remote, hand grip remote. Then I have other small things, and then plus all the lenses. And then I typically in my smaller backpack take the like FX3 and FX30. But this time I'm going to be mainly in this hard case going to be taking the things such as the V-mount batteries. Here you can see like this, all my lenses as well, all the lenses that I'll be taking, different tools that I need, all the chargers, the Fuji X100V, the top handle for the FX3 and FX30, just really everything else other than the camera bodies is what I'll be putting here. Oh, and also the other thing is these Tentacle Track E's. I got 2 of them we're gonna be taking. That's mostly what we'll be capturing audio for interviews, plus our microphone, which I'll be taking, this Sennheiser microphone up here. Along with these 2 bags, I'll also be taking another bag that I'll be checking clothes in, and a small travel tripod, and a few other really small things. Now, camera-wise for this trip, we will be shooting on mainly the FX6. Richard also has an FX6 and an FX3. He'll be bringing both of those. I'm gonna be bringing both of those plus the FX30, just to have several backups. I don't know much about Alaska, but what I'm expecting is that it's pretty remote. If the worst thing happens and I've gotta like cameras break, things happen, at least I'm gonna have a camera that works. I'm not expecting anything awful like that to happen, but you never know. I've been on shoots where the worst has happened. So main cam will be the FX3, this one that's shooting right now. Secondary will be the FX3. We'll have the FX30 as a backup. I'll also probably be shooting some YouTube stuff on the FX30 while I am up there. My role on this trip actually will be dual. So Richard's gonna mostly be shooting video. I'll be shooting video as well, but I will also be shooting photos for this trip as well. And we're renting an A7R5 for this trip. Next item on the list is lenses. And before I tell you which lenses I'm gonna be taking, I need to tell you what we will be shooting. There's gonna be some stories that we're gonna be telling that are going to be emotional. The people that we're gonna be filming, they're gonna be remembering and talking about things that are not easy. There's gonna be tears, it's gonna be raw. And then also we're gonna be filming some activities like some service projects. And then also the very last thing that we'll be doing is going on a like an all-day hike. We're gonna hike to the top of a mountain and then down. And there's going to be like a memorial at the top. So with all of that in mind, we know that with these people that are going to be remembering these things and talking about stuff and just reliving some emotions that may be really hard, we don't want to be in their face with a camera and trying to get them crying, or we also don't want to just annoy anyone. These people are going to be there to remember loved ones and talk about them and be there for each other and support each other. And honestly, if I was in their shoes, the last thing I would want is a camera in my face, or at least one really close to my face. I would want one, I'd probably be fine with one further off. So that's what we're planning on doing. We're planning on shooting with a little bit longer lenses in at least the more touchy / emotional situations. So with that in mind, we're going to be probably shooting a lot more on the 50mm, 85mm. I'm also going to be bringing the 24 to 105. It's going to be hard for me not to try to stay on the 50mm, probably turning into one of my favorites. But not to say that with this though, I'm not going to be bringing also the 35mm and then also the 85mm, plus also the 24mm, which I'm using right here. And when I come to that lens, that brings up a point that I want to take with telling a story of people that are going through something, and in this case, going to be reliving some things that are hard, but also we're going to be filming in some beautiful landscapes. It's going to be really hard to not use the 24mm a whole lot. The only downside with that is that if I want to get close to someone, or like try to get closer to someone, I have to use my feet and get really close to them, but I really need to be sensitive in this situation with these people. Like I've said before in other videos, I love the 24mm because it helps get a person in their setting, and it helps give context, helps put the audience in their shoes, or it makes them feel like they're there experiencing what they're experiencing. Kind of like they're in the room. At least that's how I feel. Specifically also when we're hiking, I can film some people hiking and get semi close to them, but then also get some expanse, beautiful scenery behind them and around them. So sorry for my rambling. It's gonna be really hard not to use a 24mm a whole lot more than I probably should, because I'm thinking I'm going to be shooting on the 50mm more, possibly the 24-105, even though I really am not gonna want to a whole lot. It's not my favorite lens, but it's very versatile. I'm envisioning using basically 50, 35, 24 to 105 if I have to. Gonna try not to use the 85mm just in case I'm gonna bring it. So in terms of gear too, that's really it. There's gonna be some other miscellaneous things and items. For audio, like I said, we'll be using boom microphones, some lavs that we'll be putting under the shirts. We're not gonna be taking lights. Traveling with big lights is really not fun. But also traveling with less gear, to me and to us, is just a little bit more freeing. It's just sometimes if you just overpack and take way too much, I don't know, it can clutter stuff. It can clutter the way you work, the way you think. Usually I have to do without something that some people would say is essential, and that's okay. I actually kind of like it. It's a challenge and it makes it fun. So I'm really excited about this trip, to have some fun doing that, kind of working around some challenges, but also just creating something really touching, telling some really cool stories. I've been doing a lot of corporate work recently, and I'm really excited to get back into the storytelling aspect of filming. So I'm really excited to see what comes from this trip, what gets made from the footage that we shoot. If you were in my shoes and traveling and packing for a shoot like this, where you're traveling across the country, tell me how you would pack for it, how you typically do it, what kind of bags you use or cases, what you usually take. Some of you may say I'm overpacking right now, and that's okay. Probably overpacking lenses because I love my primes. Oh, and also, if any of you have used this backpack before or own it, let me know what you think about it. I would love to know how you use it, what you put inside of it, if there's any downfalls to the bag. And finally, thanks for watching. It is so good. It feels so good to be making something else, getting it back out here. Thank you for watching it all the way through. We'll make a follow-up video after the trip to talk about what I used, what I didn't use, what I thought worked, what didn't, if I wasted some space and packed some things that I shouldn't have. It'll be fun to talk through it. I'll learn some stuff from it. It'll help me realize and learn some things from packing for this trip. Thank you so much for watching. I wish the best for you. I will talk to you soon.